Okay. All right. So first thing, I just want to go over the point value because there is a significant amount of points for this. And this is going to be pretty similar to the rest of the time we do this. So please make sure you have this filled in. As you are most likely aware, this is a lovely 4 points right there. Okay. When we figure this out, this will be 5 points right there. Sorry, that looks awkward. That's the one. So this is 5 points. This is 4 points. Okay. All the way down, you guys will see on yours, it says internet only. All of that in that area. So it goes from apartment all the way down to cell phone plan. That is 26 points. Because I have you guys fill in the left and the right, and then there's the one spot you'll see on for a curtain number. There's a blank in there. Depending on what curtain you choose, you might have money coming into your account, money going out of your account. Speaking of that, as we're looking at this, does anybody know what's the difference between amount of check and amount of deposit is? Does anybody have a checkbook in here? Anybody have a savings register, like a list, like keeps track of everything for you? Nobody? All right, so amount of deposit is money going into the account. I'm depositing it into my account. Does that make sense? I'm depositing it. Amount of check is money going out. So most of the stuff we're going to be doing is an amount of check. I'm spending it. It would be, if I was writing a check, that would be how much the check would be worth. Most of us do it digitally now, but regardless, thank you. Yeah, this sheet, we're just starting it right now. There you go. All right. Okay. If we come down here, this part right here is our optional. This is all optional in here. So you don't have to get any of these things in internet all the way down the satellite, all optional. Matter of fact, on the screen, when I put it up, you'll see it. But this is only 2 points. Okay. Because if you choose one, you're just going to choose one of those. You're not going to be using all of them. And then down here, for your curtain, all of this, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this is actually going to be 7 points. 7 points for these. And then this is going to be 5 points right there, just so we know we have the balance. So the total comes out to about 49 points. Okay, but I'm guiding you through the entire thing, so we should be easily getting 49 points before you guys walk out the door. All right, so this first one is going to be kind of slow and a little laborious. And I'm going to kind of come back and forth between these two the screens. So we're going to put a PowerPoint up. There's a couple scenarios that we're going to play with. For the scenarios, I am the omnipotent being that controls everything. So as we, there we go. Try this again. There we go. So as we go through this, I will help you out. And on the back too, there's a couple of things on the back to help you out. I'll have them on the screen for you guys, and we'll do those so you can write down the information as we go. But for scenario number 1, we are going to be living alone and must operate as an individual. No help from your parents and no roommates. So this is completely you. Thank you very much, sir. Everyone owns their own car. If you do have your own car, then you can use your current information. If you have your own insurance, you use current insurance. If you don't have a car, I have some choices for you as we go. And you can choose from my limited supply of vehicles, but we will have your own vehicle for this. Don't worry about taxes for this scenario. You guys are working under the table and or independent contractors. We haven't gotten to taxes yet. We'll leave that for the next fun, joyous moment. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is figure out your income. Okay. So almost everyone typically thinks in regards to hourly rate. So we have to figure out what that's going to be in a month's income. So what we do is we take that lovely $11.75, and we put it over here in the top right corner. So on the back of your page, you guys will see. I'll use this one. So we take our $11.75 per hour. We are working 40 hours a week. So all we do at this point is put our 40 hours. So $11.75 times 40 will give me $470 every week. Now for this place you're working, there are no paid holidays. So if you don't work, you don't get paid. Does anybody know how many weeks you lose because you don't get paid holidays? Does anybody know how many weeks in a year? 52, thank you. So if I have holidays, how many weeks do you think I lose in a year? Approximately. One. Close, very close. 2. About 2. Right? We're looking at Easter sometimes. I could have a day before, day after, 4th of July, Christmas Eve, depending on the time of the year or where it is. I think some other ones that we have New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, depending on the week. So you potentially can look at 6-7 days, depending on. So I typically go with 50 weeks per year if I'm not getting paid holidays. So I take the 470 times 50, and that puts me at about 23,500. Okay, so if I'm 23,500, divide that by 12, and it leaves me with a monthly income of $1,958.33. Sorry that 5 looks like a 6. 1,958.33. Okay, so once you've figured out that little math, and you flip that piece of paper back over in the top right corner, God bless you, you will see that it says monthly income in that top corner. You're going to want to write that same number down. 1,958.33. Okay, now the fun begins. Now you guys have some decisions to make. This is all the money you get to play with in a month. Does anybody know why I didn't do 4 weeks as an average? Just sometimes people as well, there's 4 weeks in a month. Do every single month have 4 weeks? Some of them may have more, right? So that's why I typically do the whole year and divide by 12. It gives me a better idea. Okay, all right. So here are your choices. You get to pick. Okay, this is going to go in the. I actually blocked out the amount of deposit column because we're not putting any money in. We're taking money out. So you get to pick. Do you want to stay in a house, condo, or apartment? These are all rentals, so you're not owning anything right now. Okay. In that column where it says apartment, condo, house, you pick whatever number you choose to put in. It goes in the amount of check column. Okay, and then for the sake of showing you what it looks like, where'd it go? Come on. Okay, so the way that this would look here. So it was 1958, right? 33?
33.
Good. What apartment did you choose?
The one bedroom with
How much?
550.
Okay, now, if I take that 550, subtract it from 1958 and 33 cents. 1408,
Yes.
33 cents. Right? This is kind of like the math teacher telling me, showed me your work. The far right column is actually almost more important to me. So I want to see, partly as a person living on your own, how much money do I have left? Because I've had people that don't do this at all in life, and they just like, I think I have enough. I would like you to know how much money you have in your account. All right, let's jump back to the electric. The electric bill. There we go. So these are your choices. If you chose the apartment, it's going to be 75. And then you'll see right below that is the gas bill. That's also 75. So you can just subtract those two.
Subtract off from 1.
Yeah. So the far right column is a running tally. So every time you buy something, subtract it on the right side. Buy something else, subtract on the right side. Okay. All right. Do you guys have the electric and gas? Any questions so far? All right. Good. Laundry expenses. The $25, the assumption is you have no washer and dryer in your apartment. You'd have to go someplace and pay for it, the laundromat, or even if it's on site. Right? And we're talking about the month for laundry, not just like every week, a month of laundry. $25. That would be included your detergents, all that fun stuff. Okay. Renter's insurance, completely, utterly optional if you're ever renting a location. Just kind of a safety precaution. So if you're in the apartment, it would be $22. The nice thing is if something goes wrong, the insurance company will give you lots of money to fix anything or replace things that you're missing. All right. Good. You guys ready for curtain number 1 or curtain number 2? Here we go. So you have to choose. In that little blank right there, it says curtain number. You pick which curtain you would like. This is where the anxiety begins. Which one? Okay, you guys make your choices. All right, here it comes. Curtain number 1. Instant lottery winner. So in that deposits column, you'll see there's a blank right there for you. Put $75. Oh, curtain number 2. You guys want to know what it is?
Can we get like a bond or something?
No, but you bought 2 space heaters. So amount of check, $136. Because you couldn't just, I don't know what's wrong with you guys. You guys couldn't buy like the generic one or get a blanket. You had to buy like the state-of-the-art remote controlled ones. Not that I know anything about what I'm talking about, seeing that I've done it twice now. You ever been to Costco? You know what I'm talking about. The really nice ones.
Yeah.
Have you seen the big, huge, like heat shield one that like just shoots out massive amounts of heat?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, it's very nice for the first 10 seconds, and then your feet kill you, and you have to turn it off. And you walk away, and you're frozen again. You come back 10 more seconds. It's just a cyclical bad thing. All right, so we got those. So on the right side, if I'm looking at the right side, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers on the far right side. And on the left side, we should have 6 things listed, either in the amount of deposit 1 or all the way down to card number 1. All right, you guys ready for groceries? Sure you are. Okay. Above average, average, below average. They kind of relate to the eating out. So if you are yes,
Are we supposed to, if we're gonna do the renter's insurance, do we just say the fine?
you guys leave it blank. Put a little dash in there for me, just so I know that yeah. So if you are a person who cooks all their meals, makes their lunches, makes all their food, you don't really ever go out, you might get like a coffee randomly here and there, like you even have your own coffee maker, Keurigs at home, that's your $325 per month person. Okay? If you are I have Totino's pizza rolls randomly, and I've got some peanut butter, maybe some bread, and I got some mac and cheese. You can potentially pull off 100 a month, and that's pushing it. But if you're a person who I don't know, you sometimes go out, but most of the time you'll have like a pizza at the house, or you'll make yourself a meal here and there. Or you make a meal and it lasts you 2 or 3 days for leftovers. That would be your 175 person. And then on the other side of that, if you are this person over here, you're probably going to be this person in regards to eating out. If you're this person right here, you're looking at about $30 a month in regards to like that coffee, stopping at Speedway for a drink, stopping at McDonald's maybe for a Coke once or twice. Just keep in mind, Chipotle. How much is Chipotle?
Like the full thing, it's like whenever I get like a bowl, it's like something.
Yeah.
Or like
With
if
the
you add it,
and chips.
yeah, well, if you don't get the chips, it's like 16 something. Or like if you don't get the chips, then it's like 12. But if you do get the chips, it's like 16.
So, and then on top, who in here is anybody a Starbucks person? Okay, so Rena, how much would it drink cost you one time?
Like $5.
$5. Okay. How many times do you get coffee in a week?
Probably like 12.
Okay, so $10 times 4 weeks ish. We're looking at $40 a month in just coffee. Does anybody know anyone who smokes? Have you ever figured out how much they spend in cigarettes?
No,
I did that with a buddy of mine because he was like budgeting and trying to figure out why he couldn't make ends meet. And I was like, how much do you spend on smokes per month? He was like, I don't know. So we figured it out and it came out to around, was it $300? $200 a month in cigarettes. It's like disgusting. All right. So we have eating out, we have groceries, car payments. If you have a car payment, you can use your current payment. If you have a car that's paid off, you can put a 0 in there, which is very, very nice. If you don't have a vehicle, I have some lovely choices for you. We have leased vehicles, SUV, truck, car. You can use your imagination. You could buy a new vehicle, SUV, truck, or car, or you could buy a used vehicle. Again, SUV, truck, or car.
Holly, you said if you have a car, it's free.
Yes, if you have one that's paid off, you have a lovely $0. It's actually one of the bigger budget releases from many people. Yeah.
So if it's like, I'm confused. What's the difference between it being used and leased?
Oh, that's a good question. Does anybody know the difference between leased and used?
Isn't it at least like you do payments over time for it to be yours?
So are you
And
paying $675 a month for used?
Yeah, it's a different scenario. So if I lease a vehicle, I'm basically just borrowing it from the dealership. So they'll typically give you does anybody know anyone who's ever leased a vehicle? Okay, if they're like a salesman or they're traveling a lot, they need new vehicles all the time, leasing is not a bad idea. So like my dad does the leasing all the time because he travels nonstop. He's always on the road driving. So for him, once the vehicle comes to the end of the 3-year contract, If you've gone over the mileage, so Rihanna, what would happen is you would go to a dealership and they would literally sit you down and say 10,000, 12,000, or 15,000. And you have to tell them however many miles you think you're going to use in a year. So if you say 15,000, by the time you're done with 3 years, you're only allowed to use 45,000 miles on the car. If you've gone over that with a lease and then you want to get rid of the car, you have to pay them for all the extra mileage above 45,000 miles. So what will happen is somebody like my dad who goes easily 80,000 miles a year will just say, you know what, just forget about it. As long as you lease another vehicle, then you get to go to another vehicle for 3 years, another vehicle for 3 years. Has anybody ever gotten a rental from like Ford or, that's what they do. They take the leased vehicles that aren't really, really old and they use those as rentals, or they use them as, and then what they'll do is they sell those as used vehicles. The difference between buying and leasing is buying, literally it's a 5-year contract, 7-year contract, and you're done, paid for, it's yours. Leasing, you're constantly kind of upping it and upping it and upping it. So slight difference. I will tell you from 2 times of experience, don't try to go from a lease to a buy, because they, excuse my language, screw you every single time. So if you're gonna buy it. God bless you. So, and then used too, sometimes they'll say how many, they might get a brand new vehicle and have people like use it as a rental. And after it gets like 50,000 miles, they'll sell it as used. So there's all sorts of little ploys they have. All right, here we go. Now for gasoline. All right, because gasoline's the next one. So on the back of your piece of paper, you should see, well, there's car insurance too, so let me go over that real quick. This is my average. Does anybody know what their car insurance is? For months? For monthly. If you know your monthly one, you can use it. If you don't, keep in mind, this is for the year. This is a yearly payment. So if I'm looking at 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, on average, you would take 17, divide that by 12, and that would get you potentially your monthly insurance. Right? I know that you guys statistically are a little more risky drivers. Does anybody here like super not crazy driver? Right? Okay. Does anybody know anyone like their parents who are the crazy drivers? Yeah. Yeah. Like I've had many students who are like, that sucks. My insurance is super high because my parents are bad drivers, not because of me. But typically on average, and this is kind of a funny one too, statistically, guys have higher insurance because you are acts of commission, meaning you guys are crazier. You try more things. Girls, you have higher statistical because of acts of omission, meaning I didn't know I did that, or I didn't see that, or I wasn't aware. So typically the guys are trying to fit their car between 2 other vehicles, and they can't really make it. Like I had a family friend of ours years ago. I was at a church of all places. He was the music director, and he had a Porsche 911, like the big, huge whale tail on it, old school 1980s, and the doors were wide at the church, and he thought, I can get my car into the foyer. So he tried to get his car into the foyer, and he got about halfway and started scratching the side because it wasn't. But that's a guy thing. His wife was not happy. She was the other side of that going, don't do this. He's like, I gotta try. And then just because I wanted to show you guys this, I thought it was kind of funny. As you guys get into your 20s, it'll drop. Matter of fact, 25 is the magic number for those who aren't aware. Once you 25, your insurance drops dramatically. And then you'll start to see after 60s, it starts to go back up. Why does it start to go back up for older people?
Yeah. You start forgetting how to drive.
Yeah, there's issues with driving and sight and mental issues. Right. So you guys, if you know your insurance, do that. If not, take one of these, whatever your age is, divide by 12, and that'll give you your monthly, which sucks. I'm sorry. Now, for gasoline, does anybody know what the gas prices that they saw this morning by any chance?
$4.70. I'm not kidding.
Are you diesel?
No.
Where were you?
No, I was at Speedland monthly.
$4.70 for gasoline.
It's regular gas.
2 days ago, it was, wait, no, it wasn't 4. It was $2.70.
$2.70. I was going to say, $4.70 is like, I knew things were going up in price. They showed up. Anybody see, I thought I saw 240 this morning.
Well, I swear, like yesterday I saw it was
It was 275 this
Like
morning.
yesterday when I was driving, I saw.
I'm gonna go with the cheaper place. So let's go with
Exactly.
243. Okay, now, an average size vehicle for most people is 15-gallon tank. Okay, now this is where you guys have to kind of figure out your own personal driving habits. 243 times 15 gallons. That gives me, to fill it up one time is $36.45. For me, and this is just me, I typically fill about 3 times a month. Which puts me at a monthly bill of $109.35. Yes. To what? That's what I'm saying. If you know your driving habits are less than mine,
Wait, so for the car insurance, age, is that already?
yes. And then remember to divide it by 12.
Yeah, so I'm between 18
So go with the 18.
and. Okay.
Real short.
Divide it by 12. Multiply by 12, that'd be a massive. That's that.
Remember to put in the number, check.
Remember you just.
Yeah, that was.
Take 4012.
Oh.
Not your, not your age.
Oh.
Yeah, like 4012.7. You divide that by 12. All right, so you guys have all the way through gasoline taken care of? What are you doing? Okay, so yes, would you be about 3 times a month?
Yeah.
So then just put that, we don't mind people. All right, who is in the 200s right now? Anybody in the 100s? Anybody below 0 right now? Okay. Okay, here we go, next slide. Oh, uh-oh.
No.
Can we skip this?
What if I don't?
Yay.
What if I don't drive fast enough?
Oh, no, but you do, because they just pulled you over for speeding.
But he's wrong.
But you can go to court and pay court costs.
You just gotta.
I don't wanna have to do that.
With insurance,
Oh, well,
175.
and I'm bankrupt.
I mean, too. We did it.
Bankrupt's a whole nother step.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we're not there yet. Anybody want to know how fast you're
Oh,
going?
Jesus. I don't know. I'm going bankrupt.
Oh, by the way, without insurance, it would have been $500 fine, and you potentially have your car towed.
Goodness.
I am going bankrupt. That is something.
You were going 95 and a 45.
Okay.
Um,
That's ridiculous.
Is there a reason for that?
No, that was the problem. It was like, I just want to see how
I
fast my
have a
car
problem
can
with
go
this logic.
on Abbeville.
I am fine.
You're the negatives, it'll be okay.
No, fine.
We'll have to get a second jet
Oh,
though. Uh-huh.
okay.
All right. Now, the next one, cell phone stuff. Now, does anybody know how much they pay on their own, not on your parents' plan? If you know how much you're paying, if it's your cell phone, you can put down your payment. If you don't, have some information for you. Okay, so T-Mobile bought out Sprint, so Sprint doesn't exist anymore. So we'll do that one. So AT&T. And what we're going to do is I'm going to ignore the cost of the phone for right now. Just look at the plans. So this is your mega plan. This is your pretty good plan, and this is your. I got some stuff that's not great, but I can do what I need to do. So for AT&T, 85, 75, 65, your choice. If you want to stick with AT&T. Okay. Verizon. There we go. Verizon has a lot more choices. They go from $30 bucks, but you have to you actually bring your own phone. $70, $80, $80. These aren't really making a big difference. And then $90. I took these right from their website.
Is that for 5 gigabyte plan for the 80?
The 80 is, well, there's
Because right now I'm paying for 10
15
gigabytes
gig,
a month.
15, yeah.
I'm paying
Those-
10 gigabytes a month. For my, like, me and my mom are on the same plan. I don't know what.
Keep in mind, most of your phones are costing you about $30 per phone, so we have to add that on. But for now,
Yeah, I don't know. Because I pay, my dad pays that it's like 80, but I don't know. It's that bad.
I don't know.
all right, here's Boost. Actually, I'll go with T-Mobile. There's T-Mobile's plan. 30, 35, 43. It's a lot cheaper, but or sometimes we have service issues.
Yeah.
They increased their service by adding Sprint in, but didn't do a major. Anybody have T-Mobile or formerly on Sprint? And how is your service?
It sucks. My phone is not working.
Okay, this is Cricket. You want Cricket? This is like, this is my favorite, BYOD on your own device. Let's see. Verizon. There's another one. Oh, there's Boost. There's Boost. You want Boost? 35, 50, 60, 80. Now let's try for one more. This next one, does anybody need to see one of those again? Okay. All right. So now for this next one, keep in mind, a lot of people have been using their cell phones to like stream stuff at their houses if they have a good phone. So you can use it as a hotspot. It's up to you. Anybody want satellite? So anybody want cable options, meaning on telephone, cable? All right, you want to see that one? Okay. All right, so here's your cable choices. So if you just want the cable for the house, condo, apartment, $66. Cable plus internet. Right, so cable is just the video. Cable plus internet goes up. Cable, internet, and phone goes up a little bit more. Okay. Now, a lot of people aren't using the. They're just going with the internet. This is like decent prices, and we'll stop right there. Yeah.
What if we buy like Netflix?
That would be for another scenario. Yeah. Matter of fact, when we do the Game of Life thing next quarter, we'll play around with that. All right, so what we'll do, and again, keep in mind, internet, cable, and satellite, those are all optional. You don't have to do any of those if you do not want to. You can always just stay on your cell phone plan. Okay, and then tomorrow, we will finish this up. We've only got 3 or 4 more things.
I'm at negative $141.
I'm at negative 47.
Wow. Yeah, the car's paid off. That's a big benefit.
You don't need that many folks. Like, you know, so that
All right, folks, I'll see you tomorrow.